To make a little bracelet today, we're going to need a piece of cardboard. You want like cereal box type of cardboard, nice and thin. Something round to trace it, and you can will do. Pen, scissors, 7 pieces of threads. You can use all the same color if you want, or all different, or make a combo of each, and you might need a little piece of tape. So we're going to trace our circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just going to be our support. Cut it out. All right, now I'm going to trace my 8th. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay! In the middle, I'm going to poke a hole, so be careful here not to poke yourself. Make sure your fingers are out of the way. Poke through with your pen. All right, and then very safely you can make this hole a little bit bigger. So again, your fingers are out of the blade. Do not hold the scissors here. Remember, nice and safe. No fingers on the blade. Okay. You don't need it to be super, super big, but all right, just like so. I am using leftover yarn, so it's not your ideal thread for this. You might want to use something more like friendship bracelet thread, or what we call embroidery. Took me a bit here. So now I'm going to make little cuts on each of these lines. See, I'm not going very far. I'm just want to make a little slit on each one of them. So I should have 8 cuts. See, they're not going very far. All right. Now I'm going to take all of these and measure about like from your hand to your shoulder. So that should be 50 centimeters, almost a meter maybe, depending on how tall you are. You want to make sure you have enough thread, because if you run out, it's not going to work very well. Again, this is way thicker than what you really want to use for that, but that will do. Okay, so I'm making a knot all together. Missed one. All right. Okay. I've measured my 7 threads. And now I'm going to pass this through this little hole we made. Now, if you're using the proper thread and it's nice and thinner than that, that's where you want to put a little piece of tape on the other side. I don't think I'm going to need it here. And now I'm going to put each piece of thread in one little slot. Once you have mastered this little craft, then you can make it over and over again and start creating patterns with colors. Today we won't really care about that. Okay, so I have 7 pieces of thread and 8 slots, so one is always going to be empty and it's going to be at ground zero. So that's going to be where my thumb goes. You can decide whichever you like, going clockwise or counterclockwise. I usually go clockwise. So thumb on your 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to take this piece of thread and put it down the slot. Now I find my 0 again, put my thumb on it, 1, 2, and 3, pick it up, and put it down. Find my 0 again, 1, 2, and 3, pick it up, and simply put it down into this one. This becomes my new 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. What I like about this little craft is that it is time consuming, but not too bad. It doesn't require a lot of things. And you can do it while chatting with somebody else, while watching TV, kind of like crochet and knitting. It keeps your hands busy, but you don't really have to think about it so hard that you cannot do something else and follow a conversation. So it's a nice, easy fidget. Because once you find your thumb, you can count your 3, take it up, put it down, and carry on. So what you're doing right now, it's kind of like a braid. You're making knots and eventually it's going to pop up a bit in the middle. So you have to pull it down. Put your thumb. The one tricky thing is going to not get too tangled. So that's why when I come to pick up my thread, I pick it up completely and put it down. If you just do that and don't separate it, eventually you'll get knots. So every time you go to pick your new piece of thread, make sure you pull it out completely out of the rest. Otherwise you'll get really tangled. Another thing is, you want to make sure, once you have chosen that you go one way or the other, you stick to it. Because if I start going the other way, then I'm going to undo what I just did. Right? If I put 1, 2, 3 and then I decide I'm here and I decide to go the other way, well then that's the one I just put down. So I want to make sure once I start, I stick to one way. That would be quite sad. And you just carry on like that. And eventually, it doesn't take too long, but eventually you start getting this little bracelet. Yeah, so you carry on as far as you want. make it into a bracelet, make it into a keychain. And once you have started, you know how to do it, then you can start creating little patterns. Play with colors. There you go.